We lived like 6 years of a big nightmare, being ruled by the right wing and extreme right wing. The country is absolutely devastated. It's more than 30 million people suffering with hunger now. We never had this situation. And more than 120 million people live some sort of food insecurity right now. So first, like urgent task of Lula, of course, will be to tackle this issue of, again, poverty. And I would say Brazil should learn some of the lessons of the poverty alleviation, the target poverty alleviation campaign from China. I'm sure they will. And the second big task, I would say, is to reindustrialize the country. Brazil had in the last 20 years a very bad performance in terms of manufacturing. Just for one example, in 2000, the key or the most exported product from Brazil was air jets that Embraer, the SOE Embraer used to manufacture. Well, now we export soy. Is our main product. So this already shows you the regression of the Brazilian economy.
There are some conflicts trying to create chaos for the inauguration for Lula in Brazil. So I'm wondering, do you think the future will be less turbulent, prosperous for the whole Latin America?
I mean, in many countries of Latin America, we suffer from chaos and political turbulences from time to time. And guess what? I mean, most of the times, of course, U.S. is involved. Like just now in Peru, we just had a coup against President Castillo, who was elected by the people. It was a very narrow victory, as most of the elections. Actually, this is one of the trends in Latin America in the last years. Even when the left is winning again, it's a very narrow victory. Even Lula won by like 1 point something percent, 2 million votes in more than 100 million. So, but President Castillo, for instance, now there's been already reports about first of all, the influence of the U.S. ambassador, which, by the way, coincidentally is an ex-CIA agent. Imagine the kind of friendly person. But guess what? Let me bring you back what Lula said. President Lula said last year, actually, when he gave an interview to Guancha. It was a very famous interview in China and also in Brazil. Mm-hmm. So I just want to quote a few lines from President Lula. This is actually the end of the interview. He said something like that. It's great to see China take a significant place in the world economy and to see China take a place in the world geopolitics. That's what I want for China. That's what I want for Brazil, for South Africa, Nigeria, Argentina, and Mexico. Latin America can be born poor, and it should not be natural that every time a country in Latin America starts to grow, there is a coup. And it's unacceptable that in every coup, people from United States and US ambassador would be involved. This is from President Lula, which, by the way, spent 2 years in jail because of false accusations of corruption that are already demonstrated by many documents how much U.S. Justice Department of U.S. and the FBI were directly involved in this conspiration to put Lula in jail. So he knows all the dangers that the extreme right wing will still represent in Brazil. I mean, guess where Bolsonaro is going tomorrow? Instead of being in the inauguration, he's not going to do the protocol and all the rituals, etc. He's flying to spend a week in Mar-a-Lago in Donald Trump's mansion. So this is what our extreme right wing looks like. I mean, they don't even hide their direct relations and with the United States and etc.